relaxation. This one's a little bit better because they actually have like a little bit of detail on them. But a lot of these books in this genre have that art style where it's like the flat art with like no faces and no like shading or anything. I fucking hate it. It is so ugly, but this is a little better, I guess, but still. Next is this Alice Oseman book. If you are familiar with Heartstopper, she writes those as well. This is Radio Silence, which I believe, or actually, if you've watched the show, the character's not even in the show, but it's, what's his name again? Aled, that's his name. It's focusing on Aled. And Heartstopper is also a graphic novel series. This, even though it kind of looks like it should be, is not a graphic novel series, and only has the words in it. So I kind of wish that it was a graphic novel though, because like, I don't know, the cover gives those vibes, you know. There's that one. Next, oh my fucking god, this fucking book. This is Normal People. This pisses me off so bad because if they would have just communicated with each other, everything would be different. Everything in this book would be different. All the problems they had would not exist if they just communicated. Like, girl, bye. But it is still a good book. And it is actually a television show now with Daisy Edgar Jones and Paul Mescal, who is big now. This was like the first project that I ever heard of him being in, and then he started getting all these other roles, so good for him. But here's Normal People. That one is set in Ireland. Next, we have a thriller, The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. This one, I believe, is being made into a movie or a TV series. There's talks of that happening pretty soon, and I believe they're like working on casting and stuff for it now. This one I've read about 3/4 of the way through, and I would say this kind of, if you've ever seen A Simple Favor by A Simple Favor with Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively, the vibes that I get when watching that movie, like, remind me of this. Like, the way that Blake Lively acts towards Anna Kendrick reminds me of how the wife of the man in the house acts towards the housemaid. I don't know. But next we have Bunny by Mona Awad. This one looks so interesting. It's about a sorority, I think. Yeah, a scholarship student who prefers the company of dark imagination. Yeah, so it's about a clique of sinister rich girls who call each other Bunny and seem to move and speak as one. I have no idea what it's actually about, like, but I believe it's like a psychological kind of thriller, so I'm interested to read it. But I've heard mixed reviews about like it being good or not, so we shall see. But it looks like, I like the cover and everything. The vibe is there. So there's that one. This one I've also heard plenty about, but I have not read it yet. It is My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Atessa. I don't know how to pronounce that, but by Atessa. And this one I also don't really know what it's about, to be honest. which I got from like a subscription box or something like that, so I didn't pick this out. I have never heard anything about it. So it is The Coldest Touch by Isabel Sterling, which I think is supposed to be, what the fuck, I didn't even notice that. I think it's a sapphic, like modern vampire romance. So it's about Claire and Elise, and I think the one that's not a vampire might be a witch also, but that's this one. And it says, death drew them together, life could tear them apart. I don't mind like this cutesy animation style, but the colors on this, like what's the vision, like what's the color palette here? It's kind of ugly. Next we have some classics. We have Jane Eyre. It's fucked up on the cover, but I love Jane Eyre so much. I love every adaptation of it, and I love the book, and it's perfect. I love Jane Eyre. It's like, it was released in the Victorian era, let's see, in 1847, and it's by Charlotte Bronte, and let's see, there's a quote from it on the back which I'll read. The more solitary, the more friendless, the more unsustained I am, the more I will respect myself. I just love this book, like, I don't know. And there's a movie adaptation. There's many, like, mini TV series adaptations from throughout the years. But my favorite adaptation might be the movie, because I love Mia Wasikowska, who plays Jane Eyre in that version, and Michael Fassbender plays the love interest in it, who is, I can't remember his name. What the hell? Oh yeah, Rochester. Mr. Rochester. Or I think he's a lord, but classic number one. Then we have Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. This, I actually don't have a copy anymore of my favorite Jane Austen novel, which is Emma, because it got ruined. But this one is also really good. And these are the Penguin Classic editions. So, and here is Pride and Prejudice by also Jane Austen. I wish I still had my Emma copy. I'll have to get another one. I feel like I can never have too many editions of like classics like this, you know? So it's okay, I'll just buy a whole set of Jane Austen. But here's this one. I'm sure if you don't know the other Jane Austen ones, like I'm sure you know Pride and Prejudice, right? I feel like everyone knows Pride and Prejudice. But yeah. Then let's get into these. Another classic that I have is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. It's a pretty thin boy. Mary Shelley is like the OG Gothic queen. Like, if you know anything about her life, published it under a fake, like a surname or what's the name? What's the word for that? An alias. She published it under an alias. But yeah, queen. Next, we have a book that I still am currently reading. I've been currently reading this for like a couple of months because I've been more into like my electronic books lately, and I just haven't like touched this. I've literally only read like 28 pages or something, but this one is Juniper and Thorn by Ava Reed. I love the cover on this. It is so pretty. And it's better if you see them in person too, like the way that the colors are and everything. I just love the aesthetic of it, and it's based off of like the Victorian era in terms of like fashion sense. From the looks of it, like I would say probably like 1840s or 50s. It looks like based on her dress. But here is that one. Actually, let me put it back over here. Next, we have a book that I have not had the courage to read yet. One, because it's fucking huge, and two, because it is apparently one of the saddest books like ever written. So, we have A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. And like I said, it's huge. This one is also ruined from when I moved. I don't know what the fuck that is, but... And also, it's ruined from my cats, like, biting on it and scratching it, so... But yeah, I just haven't been able to read this yet, and I'm just kind of scared too. But one day. Next we have Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. There is a TV series on this. I believe it's on Amazon Prime. It's about a 1970s rock band. Fictional, of course, but it's like inspired by Fleetwood Mac. Next, we have this thriller, The Lake by Natasha Preston, who is a pretty popular thriller writer. This cover is so weird. It's like it's not matte and it's not like a regular texture. I don't know how to explain, but oh, I love a floppy book. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, ma'am. Then, I have this hardback book. I literally actually think, yeah, I think this is my only hardback because they, I don't know if they make them now, but at the time that I got this, they didn't have paperbacks out of this book, and I really wanted to read it because everyone was reading it. So, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. V.E. Schwab also wrote another pretty popular, like, I don't know if it's a fantasy, but I think it's sci-fi actually. She wrote another sci-fi series. Fudge, what is it called? I don't know, but like the guy wears a little red cape in it, like a red coat. I think it's a trilogy. I can't think of it. Fuck. It's really popular though. In this one, obviously the main girl is Addie LaRue, and she is from like 1700 anyone remember her immediately after looking away from her face. They don't remember her name, that they've ever met her, or like her face. Like no one can ever recall what she looks like as well. Like maybe they'll have like a memory of meeting someone just now, but they can't remember anything from the conversation, what the person looked like, or anything like that. And she is also cursed with being immortal, so she has to live like forever with no one remembering who she is. So she can't have any relationships with anybody basically, because no one will remember her. But then one day she gets remembered by this bookstore owner. In the modern day, obviously it's been years, so yeah, it's really interesting, honestly. But it jumps between the modern day and like the 1700s or something. I want to say it's 1700s. And honestly, the only gripe I have with this book was like, the whole time I was like, I'm so sorry about the noise, by the way. The whole time I was like, I do not give a fuck about your life in the 1700s. Like, let's get to the modern day with our man, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I want to see. But alas, it is still good. Then, of course, I have my leather-bound, I guess, I don't know what to call this, Encyclopedia of Tolkien, which I've already kind of said in my other video that I did on my channel how much I love this and how cool it is. Like, I love the gold foiling and the little bookmark and how much information it has on the inside with all of the like illustrations and stuff. And like even the even the like pages on the edges are gilded and embossed with images. It's just overall very, very cool. Okay, I don't think I can fit like all of my other books in here. Most of the ones that I left on my shelf are series or ones that are like not as well known books, I guess. So I'll tell you what series I have. So I have the Harry Potter series, of course. I have the whole series. I have the Twilight series. I have 2 books in the Caraval series. I think it's called the Legendary series or trilogy or something like that. I have The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I have the Cruel Prince. It's not called the Cruel Prince trilogy, but I don't know what the trilogy is called. But I have the Cruel Prince one, and I have the Percy Jackson series. So yeah, that is what I have. And then I have like miscellaneous single books. So